Unfortunately, to acquire rationality is not complicated. It simply requires knowing and working through a three-step process. First, we must become aware of what we shall call low-grade irrationality. This is a function of continued moods and feelings that we experience in life below the level of consciousness. When we plan or make decisions, we are not aware of how deeply these moods and feelings skew the thinking process. They created our thinking pronounced biases that are so deeply ingrained in us that we see evidence of them in all cultures and periods of history. These biases, by distorting reality, lead to the mistakes and ineffective decisions that flag our lives. Being aware of them, we can begin to counterbalance their effects. Second, we must understand the nature of what we shall call high-grade irrationality. This occurs when our emotions become inflamed, generally because of certain pressures. As we think about the anger, excitement, resentment, or suspicion, it intensifies into a reactive state. Everything we see or hear is interpreted through the lens of this emotion. We become more sensitive, more prone to other emotional reactions. Impatience and resentment can bleed into anger and deep distrust. These reactive states are what lead people to violence or to many obsessions, to uncontrollable greed, or the desire to control another person. This form of irrationality is the source of more acute problems, crises, conflicts, and disastrous decisions. Understanding how this type of irrationality operates can allow us to recognize the reactive state as it is happening and pull back before we do something we regret. Third, we need to reenact certain strategies and exercises that will strengthen the thinking part of the brain and give it more power in the eternal struggle with our emotions. Emotions are continually affect our thought processes and our decisions below the level of our awareness. And the most common emotion of them all is the desire for pleasure and the avoidance of pain. Our thoughts almost inevitably revolve around this desire. We simply recoil from entertaining ideas that are unpleasant or painful to us. We imagine we are looking for the truth or being realistic, when in fact we are holding on to ideas that bring a release from tension and soothe our egos, make us feel superior. This applies the principle in thinking as the source of all of our mental biases. Confirmation bias. I look at the evidence and arrive at my decisions and I do more or less rational processes. But because of the Plaza principle and its unconscious influence, we manage to find the evidence that confirms what we want to believe. This is known as confirmation bias. In the end, the people want to hear their own ideas and preferences and confirmed by the expert opinion. They will interpret what you say in light of what they want to hear, and if your advice runs counter their desires, they will find some way to dismiss your opinion, your so-called expertise. The more popular the person, the more they are subject to this form of confirmation bias. When investigating confirmation biases in the world, take a look at theories that seem a little good to be true. Conviction bias. I believe in this idea so strongly, it must be true. Those on the other hand, who express in nuances whose tone is more hesitant, reveal weakness and self-doubt. They are probably lying, or so we think. This bias makes us susceptible to salesmen or demagogues who display conviction as a way to convince and deceive. They know that people are hungry for entertainment, so they cloak their half-truths with dramatic effects. Appearance bias. I understand the people at the world. I see them just as they are. We see people not as they are, but as they appear to us. And these appearances are usually misleading. First, People have trained themselves in social situations and to present the front that is appropriate and that will be judged positively. They seem to be in favor of nobody's causes, always presenting themselves as hardworking and conscientious. We take these masks for reality. Second, we are prone to fall for the halo effect. When we see certain negative or positive qualities in a person, social awareness, intelligence, other positive or negative qualities are implied that fit with those. People are good looking. People who are good looking generally seem more trustworthy, particularly politicians. If a person is successful, we imagine they're probably also ethical, conscientious, and deserving of their good fortune. This obscures the fact that many people have got ahead on those so true, less than moral actions, which they cleverly disguised from view. The group bias. The group bias. My ideas are my own. I do not listen to the group. I'm not a conformist. We are social animals by nature. The feeling of isolation, of difference from the group, is depressing and terrifying. We experience a tremendous relief when we find others who think the same way we do. In fact, we are motivated to take up ideas and opinions because they bring us this relief. We are unaware of this pull, and so imagine we have come to certain ideas and completely on our own. Yet few would ever admit this influence on their thought patterns. The blame bias. I learn from experience and mistakes. Mistakes are not valid unless they need to explain. We want to learn the lesson and not repeat the experience. But in truth, we do not like to look too close at what we did. Our introspection is limited. Our natural response is to blame others, circumstances, or momentary lapse of judgment. The reason for this bias is that it is open to people to look at our mistakes. It calls into question our feelings of superiority. It pokes at our ego.